So on the hadith that is found in many of the books, like example, like Tafsir al-Tabari, also like Mu'jam al-Kabir from al-Tabarani, also from great scholars like Ibn Ahmad ibn Hanbal in his Musnad, we found that some people, the main source of this transmission or this hadith, which came down to say that Rasulullah had some desire in his heart, which Allah has said in that verse when He says, "Amsik alayka zawjaka, tukhfi fi nafsika, Allah yudik." What Allah has said in your heart. When taksha an-nas, Wallahu haqqa an takshahu. No, with that verse, some translated, some interpreted it this way. Like example, in Tabari, in book of Tabari, Muhammad bin Jarir Tabari in his tafsir, it came from a narrator by name of Mu'ammal ibn Ismail. Mu'ammal ibn Ismail was a student of Ahmad ibn Zayd. One of the students, Ahmad ibn Zayd, has 8 students who reported hadith, which linked down to Anas bin Malik from Tabit. After Tabit, Anas bin Malik. Now, this Mu'ammal ibn Ismail was a very weak narrator in the midst of his 8 students. Where we have the other students like Muhammad ibn Fadal, we have Muhammad ibn Amir, we have Hafan ibn Muslim, and we have other students who compile of hadith, which is found in Bukhari, found in Muslim, like Muhammad ibn Fadal in Bukhari, Muhammad ibn Amir in Nasa'i, also Hafan ibn Muslim was in At-Tirmidhi. So we found the only one that was found in Ahmad ibn Hanbal in his Musnad was one reported by Mu'ammal ibn Ismail. They have all these 8 students reported the narration, reported the hadith that the Prophet approached the wife of Zaynab. Now, let's look at the content of the hadith. What does the hadith say? Rasulullah came to the house of Zaynab, Zayd ibn Harith. Then he saw there was a curtain between them, and the curtain was made of hairloops. So he wanted to go in. The breeze blew the hairloops, the curtain, and then she was in his inner room. As well, I say, "Wahiyya fi hudrati al-hasinat." She was in an inner room, not wearing a veil. Then, when she saw the Prophet, she quickly put on a veil, and it was said that كَأَنَّهُ دَخَلَهُ. It's as if something has entered the heart of Rasulullah. In other narration, as far in same at-Tabari, which came from Qatada, which came from other narration, also from this Mu'ammal ibn Ismail, also from Abdurrahman ibn Aslami, who is known as Ibn Zayd, which also another weak narrator, that was said that it said وَأَجُبَهَا وَقَعَتْ فِي نَفْسِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ, that the amazing body, whether from his amazing body, because said according to the said she was a very beautiful woman, and also she was a very shapely woman, that entered the Prophet's eyes, and the Prophet was caught with desires, that she turned away, and he said, "Blessed is the Lord, blessed is Allah, who make the heart turns." Now, this is a narration which is so weak, because the narrators of the hadith is weak, for him to have the love stroke narrative on the hadith, that the Prophet has some desire for Zaynab bint Jahash, that he wanted to marry her, so he asked Zayd bin Harith to divorce her. This is a weak narration. As I said before, some group of muhaddithun, those who are known for hadith critics, like example, like Yahya ibn Ma'in and Ibn Hatim al-Razi, also Bukhari, we have the Hatim al-Razi and Bukhari, the rest, they all say that Mu'ammal ibn Ismail is a weak narrator. According to Yahya ibn Ma'in, it was so harsh, and it says, "Laysa bi shay wa mutra." He is nothing and is rejected. Now, according to Bukhari, he used the word munkar hadith. Is so strange in his hadith, because as in his later part of his life, he was making a lot of mistakes. So was said by Abdurrahman ibn Aslam, which is Ibn Zayd. According to Bukhari and Ibn Hatim and al-Razi, and also Yahya ibn Ma'in, they all said that he is also a weak narrator. Even Ahmad ibn Hanbal recorded it according to the book of Taqrib al-Tadib. He says they are also a weak narrator, that is not reliable, it's da'if. Now, same with Muhammad ibn Amr al-Waqidi, an historian of one who wrote a book of the Maghazi. He says that he also reported the hadith. He said in his hadith, he has some weak narrations, that is also weak, not reliable. It's in terms of hadith, but it's reliable in terms of tariq and maghazi. Now, these people are not reliable when it comes to narration. Now, what is the true version of the story? Now, we discovered that it was three persons in the story, and before that, there were nobody who witnessed it. Who witnessed the story? It was Zayd himself, the wife Zaynab bin Jash, bint Jash, and Rasulullah. These are three people. Will it be that Zaynab bint Jash came to tell the people that look at what happened, that Rasulullah came and had desire for me and married me and told them Zayd to divorce me, so he married me? Or was it Zayd who reported to his students, or Zayd who did not stay much in his life, because he said they died after the battle of Mu'ath, when he died, because we know that Zayd ibn Harith died just after the battle of Uhud, so not too far from there he died. So when did he have time to narrate to people that Prophet came to my house and had like for my desire for my wife and divorced her to marry the Prophet to marry her? Where did that happen? No way. Now, was it Zaynab bint Jahsh who died just few years, 1 or 2 years after the death of the Prophet? No, it wasn't so. Even Rasulullah will not inform people that look at what desire I have for Zaynab bint Jahsh, so I decided to marry and divorce, so that Zayd divorced her, so I married her. No, that wasn't the right thing. No, now the hadith in totality is not correct. Now, what is the true version of the hadith that was reported from Ali ibn Zayd in Jordan, who came from Ali ibn Hussein, who came from Hassan al-Basri? How is the hadith reported? The clear hadith says that when Zayd used to report to the Prophet about some things he used to see in his wife, Zaynab bint Jash, that he said, that I used to see some pride in her, that so that he overwhelmed me, that I do not like it anymore. So I want her to be divorced. So Rasulullah told her, Amsik alayka zawjak, be with your wife, don't divorce her. She refused. Then when he went back, he was not comfortable with the wife, so he told Rasulullah, I want to divorce her. So then Allah says in that verse, which says, وَإِذَا قَضَى زَيْدٌ مِنْهَا وَطَرًا زَوَّجْنَاكَهَا. Then if you divorce her, so will marry. It's a tradition at that time that when adopted son's wife is divorced, it's not permissible for the father, the adopted father who adopted him, to marry her. But Rasulullah, based on the Quran, the ordinance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, came to abolish that. This was the social reason. That was why Allah revealed this verse and used Rasulullah as an example, because it used Rasulullah to polish that act, that it is advisable for a man to marry the adopted son's ex-wife, not this wife, ex-wife, when he divorced her. So it's advisable for the Prophet to marry her. Advisable for us believers to marry her. That's why he said, وَزَوَّجْنَكَ لِكَيْ لَا يَكُونَ عَلَى مُؤْمِنِينَ حَرَجٌ فِي أَزْوَاجِ أَدْعِيَائِهِمْ. Then she married. So that is said. Now, the lessons we need to learn from this story, not just to mock the Rasul, mock Islam. The lesson we need to learn from this story is that it's not advisable for a man to marry a woman above his class. Please, it is very advisable for a man to marry a woman below his class, or even probably a little bit equal, but not above his class. Why? Because when you do that, the woman always develops pride. And when that pride comes, because woman develop pride when she sees that she's above you. So for her to be below you, you have to exercise your authority. That is why Zayd was acting a child in front of Zaynab. That was why Zaynab saw him. That's why that's why sometimes the Quran forbade us not to have the har. The har means when the man sees the wife as his mother, that means mother is not the woman, the wife he married to is not above him. So that is wrong in Islam. So it's not advisable for one to marry someone above you. And secondly, another lesson to learn from it is that it is not advised to do or call arranged marriage. Like, for example, in our society, some parts of the north or some areas in the Middle East, they do arranged marriage. That the man comes to bring a woman, talk the woman into marrying the son, or talk the woman into marrying someone. No, this is wrong in Islam. Let there be an emotional attachment between the couple. Let the man see what he likes, and the woman sees what he likes from the man, and they should get married. And then the parents need to facilitate the marriage and marry them. This is exactly what it is. It should not be that as what happened, Rasul